Struggling with your short game, guys? Well, look no further, because I am going to be giving you a few tips that I've used personally to help me get from a 28 handicapper down to a 9. Tip number 1, have a club that you're comfortable with. I've said this before in videos, I'm pretty sure. I've got my 52 personally, and something that's really helped me is being able to, from 100 yards and in, use one club. Even if I'm greenside, it's versatile enough to open up slightly if I need to play one airborne, even shut it down slightly and back in my stance if I want to sort of just keep one low and bump it out. And even back to here when you're playing like more pitch shots or even getting close to full shots, having one club that you feel confident with is going to help you no end, guys. Because honestly, short game for me has been mostly confidence. I would say it's possibly the strongest part of my game. In fact, it definitely is. And it's been all about confidence really, and just being able to know and step up to this shot and know that, okay, well, I'm going to get it onto the green, I believe in that, and committing to a shot. And if you're flipping between 58, 52 distances, that sort of thing, it's never going to be easy to commit to it quite as much as if you commit with, the same club each time, but just a slightly lesser swing or slightly different and adapting it slightly. I'm pretty sure good golfers would say that. I'm not 100%, but I know that I would. And we'll see now if we can get it on the green. If we can't, chill. There we are, guys, and being able to feel confident with it is just a massive thing. I know stepping up to that, what the distance is, and I know the swing that I need to hit, because I've hit this club so many times that I feel that confident with it. And guys, it's just helped me no end, so give it a go. Tip number 2, guys, is master the bump and run shot. It might seem obvious because a lot of people say it, it's in every single short game video you watch, but there's a reason for that. Probably one of the biggest things that actually helped me get down to the handicap that I currently am is the bump and run shot. If you're just off the green, well, probably a little bit further than that, maybe you're just in a little bit of rough, or there's something that you maybe can't putt through, the bump and run's the answer. You take a less lofty club, something like an 8 iron, 9 iron, or even a pitching wedge at times, and you just almost play a putt. And it takes away the thought of, hitting a 58-degree lob wedge and having to absolutely throw one up in the air and probably blade it off the back or blade it into the water or anything. So it just really gives you a little bit more, room for forgiveness, which, as a higher handicapper, we definitely all need. If you can master that, and any good golfer will tell you, if you can master that, you're going to shave shots off your score very quickly, because you'll be able to get up and down a lot more than your average Joe. Again, I'm not a pro at all. I'm pretty far away from it. It's just I'm miles away actually. I'm an 8 handicapper, 9 handicapper, but I've been playing for about nearly 3 years now, and there's a few things that I've picked up over my time of getting, like I say, down from 28 down to where I am now. And bump and run is honestly potentially the most important thing when it comes to chipping. Tip number 3, guys, is a putting tip. Practice your long putts. That's the one you really want to get right, in your pace in general, because pace, line's very important, but pace even more so. You're always going to, if you can get it to pin high, the line, although it matters, you'll always be close enough to the hole, hopefully, to make a 2-putt. And the long putts, well, even to this day now, lower handicappers than me by a million miles don't have as many close putts as you think. It's not approach play to tap in range every time. It's always about this sort of length, and you need to be practicing those putts to make sure that you're getting it right time and time again. And again, you're cutting shots and you're eradicating 3 putts as much as you possibly can, because guys, getting your handicap down is all about, cutting off the big numbers and stopping 3 putts and silly mistakes, because people don't make too many birdies. That's not, people aren't birdieing every hole, but they're just making less bogeys, guys. Take this for example. If you're here and you've got here for what, you've hit your tee shot and you're on the green, it's par 3 here, just knowing and being confident that you can get the pace right and get it close enough to knock it into the hole. Yeah, it's what you need, guys. Practice and practice these pace putts. Surely not. No. Well, you see, guys, I haven't made the putt, but because the pace was good, it's never going to be too far away from the hole, and we can make a putt. Tip 4 and 5 pretty much come hand in hand, my last 2 tips of this video. The first one of the 2, tip 4, adjust your club selection and your shot dependent on the lie. I know when you're here you might think, I'll just bump it out, or I'll just might flop one up, whatever it is you're thinking. There is another route, right? This ball's propped up a little bit, so it's going to come out a little bit higher. So really you can take a little bit off of it, because you're going to get a nice connection, or you should do, because it's teed up for you. You don't need to open up the club if that's what you think you need to do. It can now just be a standard wide sort of chip, and you're hoping that because it's propped up, it will pop up nice and high and won't quite roll out as far, because you might get a good amount of spin on it even though it is in the rough. Not the best example, but you see my point, right? Vice versa, if it's now, look, down, it's chopped down, it's deep in the rough, you know that you're going to have to chop down it a little bit to get it out. So you don't want to be opening up the club face like maybe you would for the shot if it was on a nicer lie, because you're not going to get any spin out of that and it's going to shoot on, it's going to come out hot. So you need to sort of adapt. The point I'm making really is consider what you're doing. Before you hit your shot, have a look at the lie. How does it sit? It's not just the same every time, get a pitching wedge and just chip it. Maybe we've got to think a little bit more about what we're doing, and then you'll hopefully get a better outcome more often than not. I know for me that's a massive thing, because a lot of the time I'll be like, all right, get my 58 degree and just hit it. But what's the point in doing that when it doesn't work all the time, because actually it's not the right shot for certain situations. My fifth and final tip for you guys is, instead of just saying adjust it, I'm saying practice. When you're practicing, don't practice perfect lies. I was the guy who would just drop all my balls here on this lovely little tight line, just nick it off the top and think, oh yeah, I'm getting really good at this. Of course you are when you do that a million times, but when you're out on the course and it doesn't work, well, that's because you're deep in the rough here. So you need to practice these, so don't practice perfect. Because although it's going to go wrong, guys, we're now sat deep in the rough, haven't practiced these so much. Well, how am I going to play it? It's a little bit down the hill, and you've got to think about more things. It's going to roll on a bit. That's very good. But you know, they're not going to happen every time unless you practice those deep lies. And then, you know, practice the other ones as well. Practice everything, you know, practice a propped up little, more of a tighter lie here, if that's what you want to practice and you're not confident with. It's essentially practicing your weaknesses and just practice nipping it off the top. Basically, guys, what I'm saying is practice as many different chips as you possibly can, the different types, because when you're out on the course, you're going to face so many different obstacles. It's so important to make sure you're equipped. What I mean by that is you've practiced every single time. I hope these tips have helped you guys a little bit. They're just things that help me. Like I said a million times, I'm not a pro, nowhere near it, but I've gotten better since I started, and I'm sure, you know, there's some guys that I could sort of help out a little bit that are trying to get better as well. So if you have enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and leave a comment if you've got any tips that are helpful as well. I love the idea of getting people into golf and helping trying to get people a little bit better at golf, because I want to be getting better too. So if I've helped anyone, do let me know. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.